Okay, so now I'm going to make a simple explosion particle effect, kind of like an animation that we can use. So to do that, I'm first going to bring in a new sprite. So I'm going to go to the particles, sprites, right click, import, and I'm going to use this explosion PNG. Again with this, I'm going to right click it, sprite actions, apply paper 2D texture settings. If I open this up, you can see that it's actually a series of frames, kind of like our character animation sprite sheet that we're going to use. So to use this for a particle effect, what I'm going to do is basically right click and make a new material, just like before. We'll call this explosion underscore mat. Double click that and we'll drag and drop our texture in there. So similar settings to the previous video. We're going to select our material, we're going to make it translucent, and we're going to make it unlit. The one thing about this here texture sample actually is that it's the wrong one. So sorry, we're going to delete this, right click, and we're going to type in particle. Because we're using it as a particle sub UV, okay, it's a different kind of texture format. And because I had it selected out here, it's automatically used that texture in this here node for me, which is pretty cool. Again, we're going to right click and type in particle. And we're going to use particle color. And then we're going to hold down M and we're going to use 3. Okay, so 3 multiplies this time. So 2 for the top, 1 for the bottom. So 2 for the color, 1 for the alpha. So again, particle color, top one goes in the A, or the actual sprite or texture color goes into B. It doesn't matter which one that goes into actually. And then we're going to plug this one into one of these multiplies. Now you can see that it's multiplying this value by 1, but we want to kind of make it glow, so we're going to hold off, but we will multiply that by a higher number. So you can see my texture here, and then we're going to get our UV and the A and B and plug that in to opacity. So yeah, we want this to glow, so if we multiply this, and if I select this multiply, I can get down to the details for that and select something like 5. You'll see that they start to glow, you know, which would be pretty cool for an explosion. So we'll save that. So that's our material done. It's pretty simple. Into our particles folder, I'm going to right click, make a particle system, call this explosion, and I'm going to open that up. And again, in our required, there's a few things I'm going to have to change in here. We're going to have to put a new material in there, so explosion mat. It's going to come up pretty crazy, showing each frame at once. Looks like crap fire, to be honest. And then we're going to change the emitter loops to 1. And then down from here under sub UV heading, we're going to change the interpolation method to linear blend, and then we're going to have to choose how many sub images it has in its horizontal and how many it has in its vertical. So if I go back to that sprite or that texture, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on its horizontal and 3 on its vertical. So 5 here and 3 here. Again, if you're using a different one, it might change. A few things that we are going to change is the spawn. We're going to have it set to 0 on the constant because we want it as a burst. And the burst list, we're going to add 1 element, and that's going to be 1 as well. So it's only going to burst 1. Now the one thing that we don't want is the actual explosion to move, so we're going to delete this initial velocity. What we are going to add in though is right click here, we're going to add in sub UV, and it's called sub image index. And this is where we get to detail what images it's going to kind of play through, like a flipbook, I suppose. So under sub image index, keep going, okay, distribution, constant curve, points, and then open up point 0 and point 1. You notice that they're both all set to 0. So this here is at 0 seconds, 0, 0, 0. This is at 1 second, 0, 0, 0. We're going to change the interp mode just to curve auto, just to make it smoother. And for the second point, so point number 1, we're going to change this here to like 12, and it should start to cycle through. Already that's working out pretty well. If I go to my lifetime, I might make this a bit faster and go to a point like 7.7. Cool, and that's our explosion. Again, what you could do is you could right click, add a new particle emitter, and get some like smoke coming off there. So after this explodes, you've got this like hazy smoke rising up, and you can like add in other effects as well if you wish. Like we did before though, we're going to right click, we're going to make a blueprint, we're going to call this an actor, and we're going to explosion BP for blueprint, and then open that up, drag in our explosion, and we might want to make that bigger, something like that. We can change the size of it if we want later on. In the event class, we'll go to event begin play, add a delay in of say a second, and when that's completed, destroy actor. We could have another thing in, like when we spawn this, we could like have a cube or something, and like when we spawn this, and if there's any other enemies in that cube, so if they overlap it, we could like kick off that they explode as well, so you could set off a chain reaction in that regard as well. But I'm just going to save, compile and save this, go into our enemy, and we're going to say that when it spawns its blood, when we jump on its head, we'll have, instead of a spawning blood, we're going to make it explode. So I'm going to type in explode BP, compile, and let's play it. So when I shoot them, should get some blood, and when I jump on their head, they should explode. So that's how you make a simple particle explosion effect. Again, remember, you can take that further, adding in different elements, such as like smoke and stuff like that.